Welcome to the Christian and Money Show with Trudy Barron. And here I really just bring the biblical stewardship information about the misunderstood space of Christians and money. And today I really want to focus in on something that I think is truly important, which is credit, managing our credit. And I have a very special guest with me today because Diane, and I'll introduce her in a moment, represents one of the products that I use personally and I highly recommend. And I wanted to share that with you because I don't think a lot of people understand the value of looking into and fixing their credit. And guys, I just want to say a credit score is just an objective. It's a neutral documentation of our financial behavior. That's all it is. There's no need to demonize it. There's no need to worship your credit score. It is just data, like a score on a school exam. It's just data. And this data has powerful implications for anyone, but especially you young people starting out in life. And it's really, for you young people, it's so much better to do it right than have to fix it later, like some of us have had to do. But I want to let you know that if you do need help with your credit score, or you're a decision maker and you need help with, in your business as a credit provider, you need a resource, listen in because Diane is that person for both of you. Okay. So let me just introduce my awesome guest today, Diane Ontiveros. Diane, am I pronouncing your name right? Ontiveros?
You are. You
Perfect.
are. Trudy.
So
Thank you.
Diane is a business development specialist and a sales coach with IDIQ or Identity IQ. She lives in Temecula, California. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Temecula? Okay.
Yes.
And by day, she generates sales from business to business development. And she also helps to train the new business development associates with the IDIQ team. But by night, she's a mother of 3 beautiful kids. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you, Trudy. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, thank you, darling, for being here. So, like I said earlier to the audience, I have programs and software that help those that I reach to be empowered to change their financial future. And one key strategy for this is that I outfit them with software and coaching so that they can do their own credit repair. Guys, I do not do it for you. You do it for yourself, but I am there right there by you, by there with you, and offering you resources. That's what we do here. Now, to populate that software that I suggest and recommend, I use IDIQ or Identity IQ's report because it self-populates all the 3 credit bureaus into this software. And that's why I had to invite Diane on representing IDIQ because I wanted you guys to have a rationale for using a paid credit reporting service as against a free service. So, Diane, as economists try to define the time where we are right now, there's really no agreement as to whether we're in an economic crisis or we're about to enter one. COVID has already been impacting the economy for more than a year now. In your estimation, how has the recent economic trend impacted the credit scores of the average American?
So I feel that we feel that it's impacted it in 2 ways. With, first of all, working from home, there's been a lot of fraud. There's been a lot of people that are trying to scam others. And so we feel that it's really has increased. We have really grown as a company. We have seen a lot of enrollments come through, whether they're business to business or whether they're just members, because it really has been unfortunate as far as with affecting credit scores. So people are really being aware to protect themselves now.
No, IDIQ offers a protection. This is really what you're referring to.
We do. We offer the protection as far as we have an identity theft protection up to $1 million on each of our plans. And people are also monitoring their credit as far as the 3B credit reports and scores. And it also has daily alerts and monitoring. So you can keep on those scores and see what's coming through your account, whether that's valid, whether that's incorrect, regardless of what the case is.
So guys, this is an important thing. And actually it was something I was aware of, but I think based on what Dan just said, it's something I want to reiterate and just really bring out right here. She's talking about in this time, there's a lot of fraud. And in one membership with IDIQ, you're getting not just the credit review and help, ways to boost your credit score, which we'll talk about soon, but also instead of having an additional membership somewhere else to have fraud protection, with one single membership, have it right here with Identity IQ. So we have their different membership levels, but there's an awesome benefit to including the fraud protection up to $1 million, you said, right? In
Yes.
single membership package, instead of having, doing something with your credit over here and paying yet another service for ID protection. So that's, thank you for mentioning that, Diane. So Diane, I've come across many who have checked their credit score on free resources such as Credit Karma, only to hear later that that score was significantly different when they pulled up, say, their bank or their, or the score by their mortgage broker. Now, I want to mention a quote right off of the Credit Karma site. This was a November 2020 comment, and it reads, and I quote, "The credit scores and credit reports you see on Credit Karma come directly from TransUnion and Equifax, two of the three major consumer credit bureaus. They should accurately reflect your credit information as reported by these bureaus, but they may not match other reports and scores out there." November 10, 2020. So Diane, why would a free score service like Credit Karma not match other reports and other scores out there? And that's them saying it. That's not you or me saying it. That's them saying it. Why would it not match?
That's correct. It's because it's not all three scores. They are not getting the three scores. The information is batched, and it's out of one particular it's out of one particular source. Here we are using all three bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, and the scores are live and up to date. And there is the difference between getting the accurate score or what Credit Karma claims to have not accurate scoring.
Right. So you're saying that theirs is batched out of one source and yours is.
They use it's batched off of one source, and they do not use the three scores from the three major credit bureaus, which are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Perfect. Okay. So what would you say, other than that, are some key differences between a membership with IDIQ and a free credit service? Now, people love free, and
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to justify to them why they should pay. But there are some things, sometimes you get what you pay for. And, sometimes it is worth paying for something, especially if you are actively trying to build and enhance and tweak your credit score. So what are some of the key differences between having a membership with IDIQ, Identity IQ, otherwise known as IDIQ, if you heard me say that, guys, and a free service?
So basically, it's just the affiliation that we have with the credit bureaus. You're going to see the more accurate scoring. You're going to see the live reports and scores, and you're going to see those daily alerts come through. And that's the major difference between, like you mentioned, the others and us.
Okay. Not to mention, you do have the benefit of not only the ID protection, but you have a little special tool that I do want to talk about very soon. So Diane, as I coach people to improve their financial future, I use their credit score to check their financial temperature, so to speak, check their financial temperature. Would you agree that a credit score is a good gauge for financial status? I know life can happen, but when you don't know someone and you use their credit score, would you agree that it's a good gauge for financial status?
Personally, I'm actually unable to provide financial advice. But as I've seen, I know that that would be something that people are looking at, obviously, as far as any kind of purchase.
So
But unfortunately, I'm actually,
what does the credit report tell the lender when they look at a detailed credit report like the one you guys offers? What does it tell the lender?
so it provides the history of how they've been using their credit. For example, how long their credit has been effective, or how long they've been basically on the books as far as credit history. And it also shows them what kind of person and what kind of payment, well, not person, but what kind of payments they make, whether it's consistent, whether it's inconsistent. But as far as financial advice, I cannot actually, provide that, but I could provide you what is shown on the credit report as far as history and how they make their payment.
Speaking of what is shown on a credit report, let's just take a moment here now and look at an IDIQ report. Um, Diane, can you see my screen?
Yes, it is a little small for me, but I can definitely see our credit report there that you're sharing.
Okay, so I hope, guys, this is just a sample credit report. Any information here is not real. It's just a dummy that we've had put together just to explain and to show you what an IDIQ report looks like. First of all, you can see it's 3 bureaus of information. You have your personal identity information, which, guys, this is a huge thing for me. One of the things that when I work with a client, this is actually the very, very first place I start, because you'd be surprised how your personal identity information impacts your score. There's no information that says it impacts your score, but I'm telling you from experience, cleaning this up will impact your score. But we'll talk about that if you choose to work with me on that. So here we have 3 scores being reported. For some reason, Equifax is not reporting here on this one, but we have data and account history. And here's what Diane was talking about, the consistency of payments. In this case, this looks like on February 16th, they had a payment that was 30 days late, but otherwise they've been consistent. Here, they've been all consistent. It also shows the credit mix, because it shows the different types of accounts they have open. So the credit mix, your personal credit, your personal identity, your credit mix, your consistency or lack of on your payments. Another thing that is here, so again, consistency or lack of, there should also be any collections, if any, and also there should be public record information, which I'm scrolling all the way down. Here's a quick list too of all the places that someone has had their credit reviewed. And guys, this is something a lot of people do not realizing it. Every single time your credit is pulled by a company, you are actually costing yourself a few points. So just randomly pulling all the time, which is what IDIQ avoids for you. You can check your credit as many times as you want. It's not affecting your score. Am I right, Diane?
That's correct. It's a soft pull, so it does not affect your credit score.
Absolutely. But if you go to any of these guys in an attempt to get a loan, and that's the time that you're discovering your credit score, ta-da! Not only might you get rejected, but you now have it has cost you some points. Whereas if you anticipated applying for a loan, you work on your credit score before you approach them, you already know what your score is going to be, and then you apply with an increased chance of getting a yes. This kind of thing, guys, is what costs a lot of people problems. Here we go with that public information. It's letting us know there's a tax lien. This is the public record information. So a credit report is truly a composition of what the world knows about at least what America knows of your financial information. Look at all this stuff, guys. It is a comprehensive report that you are getting from Identity IQ. Diane, is there anything on the report you want me to go back to, or did I do a good enough job with that?
You did an excellent job at that, Trudy, and explaining exactly what people are looking at when they look at a credit report, and how to benefit from it and how not to benefit from it by doing extra inquiries. If you know where your credit, like you mentioned, is at, and maybe it's not that right time to apply for that particular loan at that moment.
Exactly. Now, there was a particular special feature that the Identity IQ report has, which I mean, I personally use it, guys, and I think this is probably the most important reason why I use this particular report over any of the others. And there are many others out there. So yes, we'll acknowledge that. But apart from the fact that I'm telling you that the software that I use to help you fix your own credit report is populated with the Identity IQ report, but also there's this one special little feature, and I want Diane to tell us about that.
So Trudy, speaking of Scorecaster IQ, it's actually my favorite tool as well. I personally use it every month, and I go in there and I look to improve my credit as well every month. It's Scorecaster IQ is a simulations and recommendations tool. It provides you either an amount that you can put in each month. So if you have a budget that you can work with, or it doesn't have to be each month, it could just be as you go on in and you would like to put that towards it. You can put in an amount of what you have available to work on your credit that time. And you can go ahead and plug that in, and it's going to give you that simulation, run that simulation for you. It's going to give you the recommendation of where you should put that money and how it would best be used and how many points that would affect your credit with positively. And also in that same turn, we also have that as a ability with the actual credit score as well. So say that somebody is at a 700, but they're looking to achieve a 720. So they would plug in 720, and the simulations and recommendations of the Scorecaster IQ tool will provide what is needed to get to that 720. And so it's amazing, and it's super helpful for people not only getting started on trying to improve their credit, but people that are just generally improving their credit as they come along and as they go. It's my favorite tool actually as well, Trudy. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, guys, I mean, I really wanted to have a way to show it to you, but the only way to show it to you is to use someone's actual tool, which would show you their actual score. So I hope you're getting it from this verbal description. But guys, honestly, it's like, especially when I'm working with someone, you know, if they get started and their score is say a 650, for example, and they're like, well, I said, well, let's look at your budget, because I always start with their spending plan. And guys, if you know me, you know, I don't call it a budget, I call it a spending plan. And I look at their spending plan and we figure, okay, there's an extra 25 bucks. This tool, you can say, I have 25 bucks, and you put in the 25 bucks and it will tell you how paying that extra $25 will impact your score. It might go up a point or two, may not make a change, whatever. Or if you say, hey, I'm at 650, I want to go to 660, like Diane said, it will literally tell you that you need to find $300, for example, and pay down these 3 credit cards by that $300. That's the beauty of this Scorecaster. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, Scorecaster IQ.
Scorecaster IQ. So that is a huge tool. Very, very important, guys. So now, Diane, when some of my peers in this industry knew I was going to do this with you, one of them asked me to ask you, so when is FICO score going to be available on the IDIQ?
So we rolled that out last May of 2020. It is already up and out, available. It is the called MyScore IQ with FICO 8 model.
So it's the FICO 8 score, but the FICO score is absolutely available. In addition to those scores that we were talking about from the 3 bureaus. Okay, awesome. And guys, listen, if you know you want to get a high ticket package, a new car, you're looking to buy a house or a boat or something like that, or you know you're going to do home refinance, anything that you know up front, your credit score is going to be pulled. Guys, don't saunter in there and then get your score pulled and go, oh, that's not the way to do it. Plan ahead, work on your score, use the Scorecaster IQ and tools like that so that you position yourself and you are ready so that when you do get that hard pull on your score, it's worth the points. It sometimes is as much as 10, 20 points. It's going to ding you, but at least it's worth it to you because you walked in there with the right score that you needed to get the loan. And when you are dinged, it's worth it to you because you're not getting ding, 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 and then wonder why all of a sudden you can't get any loans because all those points keep dinging off your score, right? So the FICO score is an important one because it is the score that is usually the one for loan decisions, whereas these scores that are being populated into the software I'm talking about is just to help you get a reading of where you are so that because you never know which bureau the company's going to pull. There are some companies that pull all three, like for real estate experience, and there's some that use only one. You can actually call ahead. If you know you're going to go get a car loan, ask them if they'll tell you which bureau they pull. They'll tell you, at least I've seen that. And if they tell you it's TransUnion, then you know, focus on that. I'm just saying, it's just an idea. Now there's two things I want to leave you guys with. If you are a credit professional and you're considering using Identity IQ as one of your tools in your toolbox with your clients, as I do, Diane, tell them how they can connect with you to get access to this tool and make money off of it, guys. Now, let me say this. I want to say this real quick. When we're making money off of it, because we have to be transparent, it's not costing the client anymore. It's not costing the client any more than if they got it from Tom, Dick, or Harry. Okay, it's just that because we are the marketing arm and we recommend it, Identity IQ thanks us in a compensation. So it's, guys, if you're listening and you're a client, don't think you're being charged more just because we make some money off of it. But if you are a credit professional and you would like to add the IDIQ tool to your toolbox, Diane?
So you would just contact me by phone, email, or text. And Trudy was going to go ahead and put that information at the end of this episode. And I will get you all set up right away. You will start earning commission, as Trudy mentioned, and it's at no cost to you. So,
but Diane, I do want you to say it because some people listen rather than watch. So go ahead and say it out.
Okay, so you can reach me at D Ontiveros, which is ONTI, V like in Victor, EROS, at IDIQ.com. Or you can simply phone or text me at area code 951-888-3524. And I will get to you and get you all set up, and I'll be happy to partner up with you.
Perfect. And guys, if you're working with me to enhance, tweak, or even just get started, because I just posted, I had a young man, just turned 18, just started his life, just got his first job, and we kicked him off right. He had 0 credit score. He was credit invisible. And by using, all the various strategies that I use, including IDIQ to just see where he's at, I was able to watch that progress. And now within, it's been not quite 8 months, he's at a 743 credit score, guys. It can be done. It can be done. And I really hope that you young people would start off right, because I promise you, you don't want to do what I did, guys, because we were credit ignorant and we messed up. And then because we messed up, we had to go back and fix it all. It's harder to fix it than it is to do it right the first time. Diane, thank you so much for being my guest. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we go?
I just completely agree with you, Trudy. Whether or not you want to just keep an eye on your identity and make sure that it doesn't get stolen, we have very basic identity theft protection plans that offer you up to $1 million, or whether you're someone who wants to keep an eye on your credit and you want those 3 bureaus available to you, you want that 30-day refresh. We also have affordable plans for you as well. honestly, it is so important. And I was just like you, Trudy, when I was younger. I did not realize the importance of checking your credit, being on top of that. And so, whether regardless if you're an individual or even if you're a business owner, we can also help you as well. We also offer Data Breach IQ, which helps protect businesses with their data security. And we prepare and we prevent those things from occurring. And if it does happen, then we're able to step in and help the business. So whether you're an individual, whether you're a business owner, we can help you regardless. And so
On the data security, Diane, because honestly, I didn't realize that. Is that on a website level or on a banking level?
So, do you mean any business? We can help any business as far as whether you're a bank or whether you're a website or whether you are your own small business or a large business.
When you say data breach, because like I had a website that had a data breach. The data got breached on the website. That website I had to completely overhaul. I put, security on it and blah, blah, blah. There was security on it before the breach, but there was still a breach. So I'm saying, is that the kind of data breach you're, okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're able to prevent that breach from even occurring in the first place. If it does happen to occur, we're able to help you go through that process and make sure that you're secured from then on as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. So this was Diane Ontiveros from Identity IQ. Guys, let me tell you something. I've been dealing with Diane for a while. She is awesome. She always answers the phone or returns your calls very quickly. She is real. You can see her here. She's not a robot. She's a real person that you will have a relationship with, especially if you're a credit professional who needs that touch that where you can say, hey, Diane, this is what's going on, or I need this, or I need that, or you want an affiliate link so that you can share with your audience and make a few dollars yourself. So Diane, thank you so much for being on with me today. Thank you so much for helping expose and become very transparent about these tools that I highly recommend and personally use. I like my clients to know what's going on with that. And thank you so much for helping me get that information out to them. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share today. I appreciate you having me today. Thank you, Trudy.
Guys, and don't just click off, guys. Remember, I'm gonna in the credit roll, you'll be able to see the link to connect to Diane once again, so you have that website ready for you. Trudy Bierman here. Thank you so much for joining me on the Christian and Money Show. Thank you. Bye.